G'day Graham and everyone else. So, found a few articles, just going through a few articles, and I thought we'll do just a little part 2 here. There's going to be more than 3 parts. I'm going to put it into a few different parts. I'm going to do a grounding video for your consultation on, anti-aging, health and joint pain. But I just came across 3 articles which are relevant, so let's just do this as a part 2 for now. So let's start with this superfood one here for the over 50s, and then we'll go into the 2 more targeted to the joint pain ones and the joints. So you're getting to that age, thought, well, may as well read this article. I haven't read something about superfood in quite a few years now. Been on to the organic portal videos, as you know. Let's see what they say here. Beans, superfood, eh? Alright, let's see what they say. I think I picked the wrong articles here. Beans can improve blood sugar, so they're just a superfood now. Oats, yeah, oats are a superfood. Oats are actually a superfood, so they're considered by a lot of people to be a superfood. Yeah. Heart disease risk is one measure of health that spikes dramatically once men hit 45 and women reach 55, so therefore cholesterol lowering foods, will help. They're talking about beta-glucan. Well, you can also find really good beta-glucan in mushrooms. So the tree mushrooms, like, the chaga, the reishi, they're the best sources of beta-glucans, in my opinion, in the world. So they're hard to come by, both those mushrooms, but yeah. And remember, if you have chaga mushroom, you want to use that thing up. You don't just have a tea and then you throw it out. You have multiple teas with that, until the last, little bit of the good molecules is out of there. Because it's so rare and good. Oh, apples. It just goes to show how good Consciousazine really is. You know what I mean? The website I've made years ago. If you look on Consultation, you're going to find much better information than this. For instance, apples as a superfood. Come on now. Yes and no. I mean, we have to draw the line somewhere. Nuts, no, come on. We've got to draw the line somewhere, Can't be calling every food a superfood. So a superfood really is something that is more complex with nutrition. So I've forgotten, the whole big list, but, there's obvious ones like goji berries, cacao, for instance. Now, the reason that they're superfoods is because of the wide range of things in them, and also the power effect of them, okay? So we can't just be calling everything a superfood, otherwise, assume they'll be saying bread is a superfood. Alright, I think I picked the wrong article, but hey, we had to have a look. Oh, come on, yogurt now too. I'll tell you what a superfood yogurt would be if you have multiple strains of, lactobacillus, bifidus, all the other, strains of the good bacteria. So one time I was in a health shop in Australia and I found a yogurt with 5 different bacteria in it. Now that's a superfood yogurt, not just normal yogurt. I'm definitely not putting carrots on the list. What a ridiculous article. You could almost put beetroot on there because methylation is such a meta factor to aging. Maybe we should talk about that. I don't know. Maybe you don't know, but the methylation of beetroots is, there's people who have written books on this and who have really expanded their age and lived a lot longer just by adding beetroot into their diet. So you can look out for that. Go search all that. But look, from my own study, I found that methylation is like a sort of huge backdrop factor. It's a bit of a cleaning action in the body. The liver uses it, okay? So if you think about the 80,000 toxins created since World War One, your liver has to clean all of those. So for that reason, yeah, we can put beetroot as a superfood because it's like a meta food. Dark chocolate, oh my god. Cacao, not not 70% cacao. They don't even know the difference between cacao and cacao. See how I got COCOA? I think what they mean is it's best to choose chocolate that is at least 70% cacao, not cocoa. Oh my god, we definitely picked the wrong article. Who is this? HHD Research.org. You are the most terrible health website that I've ever come across. I recommend this website to nobody. Yeah, avocado we already know from David Avocado Wolf. So you can refer to just his spiels on avocado. He has a video online. I'll leave that for you to have a look into. Well, look, avocados, you know, they contain the thyroid detox hormone called glutathione, which again, like methylation, is something that can clean your body. So perhaps you could call it a superfood. Anyway, that was a terrible article. I'm sorry, I apologize. Anyway, let's have a look. Here we go. There was another article I found. That was the worst superfood article I've ever read. Okay, 7 herbs to fight joint and knee pain. Now, before we get into this, I'll say that I have, oh look, aloe vera. I have, several pages in consciouscuisine.net which are solely based on health food and what each food has in it and does to the body. Like Natural Remedies Guru page is pretty much my favorite page for that. So yeah, recently I made a video on aloe vera in the $30 Bandit Food Plant Teaching Series, and I called it Aloe Alchemical Dream, and I was talking about how I put it on my skin. You can also cut away the outside and use that clear inside bit in a smoothie. That's how you would use it in the case of treating joint and knee pain, right? Okay? So what you want to do is you just get your aloe vera, make sure it's one of these clear varieties like this, just the common aloe vera, it's edible. I think it's called a king variety of aloe vera. It's, the most common one, grows all around the world. And what you do is you cut out the outer leaves. I think, now don't quote me, but I think most aloe veras are edible, but not all of them, okay? So that's from what I've heard from over the years of watching many, many health videos and that. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to put it in a smoothie, like with banana or something sweet to cover any bitterness. And yes, it will most definitely be very, very good for your joints. It's got a little bit of silica action. And look, the main reason, in my opinion, which science might not say or agree with or never divulge, is because it's alchemical nature, something the Egyptians did note. Okay, so it's an alchemical plant. I could take you through stories, but I reckon you should go research it for yourself because it makes it more relevant to your brain. You'll save it better if you go have a read for yourself instead of me telling you. You might forget it. So definitely, if you don't believe me, look into aloe vera. Aloe has an astonishing 75 active components. That I did not know. Interesting. 2 of which, aloin and emodin, like emoliation, emollient, are actually natural pain relievers. Well, there you go. I didn't even know aloe was a pain reliever. But I mean, you feel that. I should have known that just by feeling it. Definitely, we all know it's anti-inflammatory. So, I mean, again, this series for you, Graeme, is about, aging and joint pain, and anti-inflammation is obviously going to be right up the top of the list of any advice I or anyone else would give you. So aloe vera is definitely going to be up the top of your list. For me here in Uruguay, I use it every third day or so. I eat it sometimes. I put it on my skin always. And remember, your skin is the body's largest organ and absorbs things in 11 seconds. So your skin does eat. Your skin is eating the aloe vera, okay? So it is actually, and it's been proven that this is an acceptable ingestion method. Yeah, it's true. Eucalypt, yeah, well, have to agree, eucalypt is another really powerful one. Natural analgesic, that means pain reliever, definitely. Tannins, are like cleaning compounds, among other things. It's also astringent. Astringency, I don't know if it's talked about enough, but I'd like to just quickly mention astringency as a massive anti-aging factor and tool. Astringent compounds and teas and herbs. Astringent means, exactly almost like the word gives you the idea of. Astringent to me gnostically rings of, pulling together. And that's what astringent compounds do. They tighten the cellular structure, which squeezes out intracellular, intercellular junk, which is the major cause of aging. The gunk that builds up, that's not our cells. You might think the major cause of aging is telomeres and all of this, but actually things like that are secondary effects of what I just mentioned. The major cause of aging, which is the buildup of just gunk, intercellular junk. That causes telomeric shortening, that causes cell senescence, and the rest of the list of aging. Major aging factors. If you go have a look at Consultation, I've listed those aging factors. Yeah, so Eucalypt, yeah, it's a good tool for this because, like I just said, intercellular junk is the major cause of aging, and it leads to everything from telomere shortening to cell senescence and the rest of the list. So Eucalypt is one of the most powerful cleaning herbs that I've ever come across. It's really efficacious for cleaning. So I don't underestimate that, because this is one of my major ways that I stay joint happy and joint fluid and have such good mobility. Obviously yoga, going to the beach, grounding, stuff like that is massive. But we're talking about foods in this today's consultation, right? Next time we're going to talk about grounding and non-food aging techniques. So Eucalypt, because it cleans, is definitely on the list for me. So I like this website, organicwelcome.com. This is a good website. That last website, do not ever visit that again. All right, ginger, yeah, definitely ginger, because of the anti-inflammatory factor, right? Protect the heart from disease, and as the first article mentioned, as you get older, you get heart problems, cardiovascular problems. It's up the top of the list. Have you seen the list of why people are dying in the world? Well, cardiovascular problems is right up the top of the list. So don't underestimate ginger as well, I have to agree. So far I completely agree with this article. Yeah, we all know green tea as well is a super healthy anti-aging, people even call that a superfood, green tea. So, and like when I say that, I'm obviously basically agreeing with them. It's been long studied, it's very, very safe and so on, so it's very recommendable. And yeah, it's going to treat things like the rheumatoid, not just normal arthritis, And what I mean by normal arthritis is what I mentioned in the previous consultation part 1, was the build-up of the coral reef inside your body, which is like a walking column of water. Remember, you're mostly made out of water. So what happens is you get these nanobacteria that build up in your joints. That's what I call normal arthritis. And look, there's osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, right? Let's have a look here what they say. I've forgotten the definition here. Yeah, this is essentially what I'm talking about. Yeah. When the protective cartilage that cushions the ends of your bones wears down. Now that's because there's little things in there which cause the friction. These little nanobacteria, or what did we just talk about, the major cause of aging? Gunk. Intercellular gunk. Right? So yeah, green tea is another massive tool for it. Good article. Oh, turmeric. I'm happy with this website. I almost could not have written a better article. So I definitely agree with turmeric being high on the list, in my opinion, because not just curcumin, and if you look into curcumin and its many, many effects, it actually affects, turmeric affects 700 genes. Now, why is that significant? Because you have 30,000 genes, and remember, vitamin D from the sun, the 4 vitamin Ds from the sun, there's 4 of them, they activate 10% directly of your genetics. 3,000 out of your 30,000 genes are activated by the sun. Then there's roll-on effects. I say it's 30%, not 10%, but science might have a problem with me saying that because I need to back up every little word I say, but hey, I can feel it for myself. And yes, it's a bit of a guess, but you can definitely tell that the sun has roll-on effects, vitamin D has roll-on effects, so it's not just the direct 10% genetics that it affects, okay? Okay, so 3,000 genes by vitamin D, or the sun that gives life to everything, right? See what I'm saying? 700 genes then is pretty decent, right? So turmeric is right up there. Guess what? Cannabis is also activating like something like 1,000 genes, 700 genes, somewhere in the high hundreds. So cannabis is also up there. Don't forget we have an endocannabinoid system. Just because I'm guessing that this article will not mention cannabis, and I'm a massive cannabis enthusiast, not just because I'm a shaman walking crystal, but and you can see bensnotes.weebly.com, the subdomain of consciouszine.net, my massive cannabis article with over 100 peer-reviewed journal articles in there, and many articles and knowledge on cannabis. But not just because of the shamanic aspect of it all, and vision and connecting to the spirit realms and all that. Higher vibration, and it can do a lot of things for you more spiritually, but because it actually affects like hundreds and hundreds of genes, and cannabis has hundreds of compounds in it. Not only that, we have something called the endocannabinoid, cannabis cannabinoid, something called the endocannabinoid system in the human body, and we all have it, and it's a major level system like the hormonal system. Hormones tell vitamins what the fuck to do. So they're a higher level system, and that's why I put cannabis so highly. Not to mention, Yeshua or Jesus, he talked a lot about cannabis too. He called it the king of herbs, and I agree with him. As a current earth Christ, Matreyu Christ is the energy I've incarnated under. As a current earth Christ, I'd have to say the same. I call cannabis the king of the herbs. It's my number one. Because it is so you can use it in so many ways. It's so useful. And I mean, from spiritual to pragmatic, as I'm just explaining now. So also cannabis is anti-inflammatory, right? With the, what was the compound? You have CBD, CBN, and CBG. So CBN and CBG, and CBN specifically, which is a very thin oil, So if you get you don't smoke it, if you eat it, put it into coconut oil, you cook the cannabis leaves and stem, not the flowers, don't waste the flowers, you smoke the PowerPoint. You put the leaves and the stem in to boil for 2 days, or a day at least. At the very least 6 hours to 8 hours, no less than 6 hours, it doesn't work. You need to boil the cannabis slightly, bring it to the boil, and you simmer it for up to 2 days, okay? The more you have, the longer you can simmer it. I used to do this on Stradbroke Island off Brisbane in Australia at my mate's house where I learnt to do this, and we used to do this with like 1 kilo of cannabis leaves, and we'd cook it for 3 days, and that was the most powerful mini muffins that we ever made. So what we used to do is put it in the butter and put 3 times the butter of any cookie or muffin recipe, and you would get just slaughtered stoned. It was awesome. You'd be laughing for hours, and laughter is the best medicine. So, not just that, but CBN, a very thin oil, if you vaporize it, if you get a vaporizer and you put it on the low setting, so not a vaporizer with one button, but I used to have this vaporizer, Black Widow, and it has different settings, and on the low setting I could just burn the CBN, and I could feel the difference from the high setting. It's really anti-inflammatory. Anyway, back to the turmeric. Let's have a look what they say here. Powerful anti-inflammatory, most definitely. It's just like ginger in that regard. There's also another one you could look for, galangal. You can also see my, which is like ginger. You can also see my video in the $30 Bandit Food Plant Teaching series playlist on this channel, galangal vs ginger, which I made in 2014. Yeah, so anyway, really good for anti-inflammation. Let's see what they say next. Cinnamon. God, I really like this website because these are really the best ones to put in this list. Now, luckily we already covered beetroot. So if this website does not cover beetroot, put beetroot high up there, okay? So there's many, there's 15,000 herbs in the Shipibo shamanic Amazon system. There's 10, 12,000 herbs in Chinese and Ayurvedic system, right? So there's thousands of herbs we could be mentioning, but we're mentioning just these few. I don't want to get into all the exotic herbs, because and berries and blah 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 out there from all these systems, because they're harder to find and they're more expensive. So it's better to just keep with these common things, which are actually right up the top of the list anyway. So cinnamon. Yeah, I'll agree. I have cinnamon tinctures. As you guys know, for the last few years in Uruguay, I've been selling tinctures. The business is right down right now, which is weird because all my tinctures could be helping everyone with coronavirus, so people are just stupid. But business is right down. Nonetheless, my cinnamon tincture is one of the most powerful tinctures I've ever had. And yeah, definitely I would put cinnamon up the top of the list as well. Definitely good anti-inflammation, but here's what I want to say about cinnamon. Let's forget what the article says for 1 second. Going to Shaman Walking Crystals knowledge. Cinnamon to me turns on the whole body. To me, it's like an alterative, and so I'm trying to think of a word that is not in existence for something that just turns stuff on. I don't know, maybe there is a word that exists and I haven't found it yet. But to me, cinnamon, regulates blood sugar really well and all of that stuff, which, if you regulate your blood sugar really well, you get less plaque build up in your arteries, less joint gunk build up. The cleaner your body is, the better the joints will be. Less stuff builds up in there. The lymph system cannot be looked past. It's the sewage system of the body. And in my opinion, cinnamon really clears the lymph system really well. Anti-cancer, blood sugar lowering, diabetic effects, yep. What's it say about the liver? Hold on. I saw the word liver there. Oh. Oh, okay. Saying be careful if and talk to your doctor first if you take blood thinners or have liver disease. Yeah, can't argue with that. Rosemary, that's interesting. This is something I've also made a tincture from because it was free. I just pick it from someone's plant and then make a profit from it by soaking it in alcohol. So it's too easy. So I had to add rosemary to my tincture range to keep the the whole business profitable, so I can continue to heal people with it. If I'm not profitable, I can't help you because I need to stay alive. I need food, and I need to keep the business growing and there to begin with. So rosemary was one tincture I also chose. We actually mixed it with other herbs. You've got to be careful when you're mixing herbs, and I'm definitely not going into that. That's beyond the scope of this consultation. So be careful when you mix things, because different compounds in different things can have ricochet effects, can have blocking effects. So anyway, that's for you to further research. But hey, rosemary is pretty benign. You don't have to worry so much with rosemary. That's why I did put it with other herbs. It's fairly benign from anything I've researched. It's not going to do any real problems or anything. Yeah, so I do agree though, it gives you that uplifting feeling, which itself, on an energetic manner, clears, your systems, your body cavities, and so on. Because when you get that upliftment from eating or smelling rosemary, and suddenly you don't have joint pain just from sniffing rosemary. So there you go. Just from sniffing it, it can help your joint pain. Also increase your memory by up to 75%, as the Harvard study a few years ago noted. So yeah, rosemary is a good one. Rosmarinic acid reduces inflammation, soothes skin affections, stimulates hair growth, improves blood sugar, and definitely, not may, but I say definitely, helps Alzheimer's. I've seen other research there, so that's why I say not may, but definitely. So yeah, definitely when we're talking about a anti-aging consultation here, we have to include rosemary because it's so abundant. You can even pick it for free from your neighbour's plant, and it grows back so quickly they won't mind. And it is really, really powerful. So it's definitely not to be underestimated. I often pick rosemary and just have a little nibble when I'm walking around the streets. You can put it in tea, or just throw it on top of anything you're eating. Say you make a roast, or I don't know how you eat, Graeme, but you just put it on top of things like a herb sprinkling. Dried or fresh, I recommend fresh because then you keep all the oils, and in the oils, it said, oils are the noble substances of the plants. They have all the good compounds. So when you powder things down, it's like dead, right? You take out the noble aspects, which are all in the oils of the plants. So I always recommend everything fresh. Let's see what they have for number 8. Aloe. We see aloe vera again. And definitely agree. And let's move on to more articles here. Here you go. There's the second one I found. Oh no, we're going back to the terrible website. Hopefully they don't take down this video because I've said they're a shitty website. Let's see what the shit people think at HHD Research. You people could use my consultation, by the way. Alright, let's have a look here. Yeah, metabolic gout, I guess, is an extra thing we could mention here. I don't know if you didn't realize what I was just saying. I was reading this paragraph. Degenerative osteoarthritis, inflammatory rheumatoid, infectious from an infection, which things like aloe vera, all those bitter compounds, they'll stop the infections. Have you ever seen aloe vera heal a skin wound? Well, it does the same thing in any infections and wounds on your inside. That's why aloe vera is so up the top of the list. It, fully heals your wounds up really quickly. And metabolic gout. Okay. Which, by the way, on gout, I will quickly mention cucumber, and we haven't seen cucumber mentioned here, but I would actually also put cucumber in the list of not herbs, but general foods to eat for not just anti-aging, because the pure water in there and all the vitamins and minerals, mainly the vitamins, but I'd also put cucumber in there because, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, because it mitigates and cleans out uric uric acid crystals, which is one of the major causes of gout, if you look into it. So yeah, that's why I would add cucumber to the list, Graeme. Get on your cucumber salads, chop up half a cucumber in every salad. See how you feel. I'll guarantee you 100% that you'll feel better. No matter like how you feel now, you're going to feel better with cucumber. Okay, the one factor besides pain, inflammation, blah, 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 blah. Okay, God, this is a crappy website. Broccoli, yeah. Brussels sprouts and cabbage. Let's see what they say here. Sulforaphane, yeah, there's some problems also with sulforaphane. You can refer to the Natural Remedies Guru page on that. Vitamin K is really a bone thing, in my opinion, for strong bones. It has other effects in the body, but I don't know if they're trying to say vitamin K helps free radicals. I think you can do better. You know what I mean? Let's not even listen to what they have to say here. God, this is a terrible website. Omega3 Supplement. This website makes me look good. Omega3, yeah. Well, we know that omega-3 is going to be anti-aging for the brain, right? You can eat a bit more fish. In my opinion, the best source in the world is hemp seeds. You can go to the Holy Stick Healing subdomain in consciousness. Holy Stick Healing. Holy Stick, like a stick, whacking someone over the head with a stick, and holy, Wholly, Holy Stick, like holistic, get it? Holy Stick Healing subdomain in consciousness, and what you'll find is a breakdown of what's in hemp seeds, and it is magnificent. It is also a nootropic. You've heard this class of drugs called nootropics, like piracetin and racetin. What a nootropic does is makes you have longer memory, increases all these like brain skills, and there's a class of drugs, like pharmaceutical drugs. That's what a drug is, by the way. Something created in a laboratory. Cannabis is a plant, not a drug, you morons. It's 2020, you should know this shit. So, there's a class of drugs, right, called nootropics, N-O-O, nootropics, and in my opinion, and that's why I made a whole page on it, there are plant and herbs and substances and foods out there which are natural in the environment, which are actually nootropics. So you don't need to go take racetin and piracetin and all that crap, because they're going to have side effects, because they're rank, rancid, dead isotopes, and they are imbalanced. Things in nature come in balanced packages. Probably the best simple example I could give you is, just to keep it very simple, because I could say hemp seed is a perfect example, but you might not understand what I mean. So apples. Apples has a skin where the nutrition is, has, the energy in the fruit or the flesh, right? Then it has the balancing effect of the seeds. Look into it, because things like cadmium and all the things that, can be dangerous are actually also slightly anti-parasitical. There's a reason that it's, balanced out like that. The bitters of the skin, some of the compounds in the seeds of the apple mitigate the over sugariness of the flesh of the apple, you see? So that's the best example that I always give. Yes, I'm a genius, I know. Anyway, the fastest way to get omega-3 fatty acids is to eat fish, blah, 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 chia seeds, walnuts. Definitely recommend chia and walnuts, but hemp seeds. Notice how they haven't even mentioned hemp seeds? Because it's a terrible website that I'll never ever recommend you ever read again. Sorry, HHD Research, this is crap. This is common crap knowledge. This is organic portal written. This is definitely written by an organic portal, guarantee you. So hey, actually this is a fantastic little addition, because I do organic portal videos on my YouTube. They are soulless, spiritless humans, and they're dumb as fuck. As you can see from this article, they just peddle the common knowledge. They're echoes, not voices. I'm a voice, clearly. Anyway. Change your oils, blah, 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 yes. So what was this? Omega-3. Yeah. Omega-3 is also anti-inflammatory, helps the brain. So yeah, we can throw omega-3 in there, but keep in mind hemp seeds, if you can get access to them, which, funnily enough, in Uruguay, where cannabis is legal, I can't even get hemp seeds in the health shops, because they don't know about it. All right, garlic. Definitely I'll add garlic to my list, of major, top 20 at least, top 10, I think, things that are anti-aging and going to help joint pain. Now, how is it going to help joint pain, Ben? And it's actually simultaneously what I say next, helping anti-aging. By removing the gunk. We talked about the intracellular gunk. It's the major cause of all aging of every person's body. Garlic it kills everything that's holding on to gunk. Just imagine little bacteria men. All these little bacteria in your body holding on to gunk. What they do is they also make shells out of cadmium and all this. What's the other? Is it? Sorry, I forgot the other compound. They make shells out of certain minerals to protect themselves, right? These little nanobacteria in your joints. And garlic can go in there and kill these little guys. Now, there's actually there's like a method you have to approach this with, because the garlic won't just get straight to them every time, because they are indeed encased in these little shells. So you have to work out how to use things like citrus to melt calcifications and, shell layers of bacterial colonies before you can actually get to the bacterial colony core with the garlic. You see how this works? Then you come in with the cannabis oil anti-inflammatory, the turmeric, the galangal or the ginger. That's at the end. The anti-inflammatory business goes down after you remove the stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? So first is things like citrus to melt them away. Then you attack the bacterial colony with garlic or something. Then you come in with the things like the ginger and anti-inflammation techniques to heal the area. Then you come in with astringent green tea and pull the cellular structure back together. It's true, I'm a genius. Anyway. Well, your doctor never told you that. Oh, cloves. Yeah, we should mention cloves. How can I forget? Now, I once took a handful of cloves and it gave me heart arrhythmia. It must have killed some, heartworm or something. I do not recommend taking too many cloves. You have to be careful when you take cloves. They're the bud of I believe, Japanese tree, is it? Very interesting to find that out. Because I didn't know what cloves were. They're like the bud of a flower. I'm pretty sure a Japanese tree or something. So have a look into that. It's very interesting. It's like when you find out how cashews grow out of a fruit. Very weird. I never knew cashews grew out of a fruit. Anyway, so yeah, cloves. Cloves will kill things, anti-inflame. They're, I think number one. Was it number one? I'm pretty sure cloves are number one in the natural or in the top 5 at the worst. Top 3, I'm so sure of this. When I looked at all the ORAC, ORAC, all the ORAC charts or antioxidant charts for layman terms, when I looked at the ORAC value charts of all the foods a couple of years ago, I remember cloves was number 1, 2 or 3 of the natural antioxidants, because there's, synthetic antioxidants as well, which are very powerful. So yeah, cloves for antioxidants and aging, right? Fighting the free radicals. Don't forget cloves. They're also so cheap. You buy a little packet of cloves and it lasts you months. I still have cloves from like 6 months ago. So yeah. Tart cherries. Well, that's going to be using astringency. So this is something you do after you take the citrus, you take the garlic, you take the cannabis oil, you take the green tea, and then you start eating berries. Okay, so that's kind of the order of healing. Okay, Graeme, and everyone listening. Yeah, they've got good anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are very powerful pigments. They're in Jabitacaba fruit, the fruit that grows on the outside of the tree stem. Very weird fruit. I've done a whole video on that in the food plant teaching video series that I do. So they're in everything from Jabitacaba to berries and cherries, these anthocyanins. And they're dark pigments. Pigments are antioxidants, in case you're not up to speed. Turmeric, again mentioned. Vitamin C, obviously. Nuts and seeds. What do they say here? For the minerals and the omega-3 and the alpha-linolenic. Yeah. But yeah. I use nuts for protein, really, and minerals, but so far as anti-aging and anti-inflammatory, no. HHD Research, wrong. Nuts can actually do some inflammation because they're like a rough substance, so no. Dairy, these people are retarded. At this point we know that they're retarded now because dairy can cause inflammation. Oh good, they noted it. So why is it on here? Let's see what they say. Low-fat dairy contains lots of vitamin D and calcium, good for healthy bones. Yeah, but look, no. Okay? HHD Research? No. Bad website. Bad boy. Right, so no to the yogurts, okay, for now. Unless you know what you're doing, because, these strains of good bacteria in the yogurts chase down viruses. I guess that's relevant to say while we're in the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. That's right, lactobacillus, all those bifidus, etc. Forgot the name of all the strains, but all those good bacteria you find in yogurts, they actually chase down viruses in your body. So yeah, they can be helpful, but you need to understand how to use these things, use yogurt. So we're going to leave it out, okay? I say no for today's video, okay? C-reactive protein. Oh, I'm surprised they even mentioned it. Brown or wild rice, lower levels of C-reactive protein. Now, C-reactive protein is one of the 2 major top-level inflammation indicators in the body, okay? In case you didn't know. There is C-reactive protein and nuclear factor kappa beta, is it called? I've talked about it before. It's something I haven't talked about in like 5 years. Excuse if I got the name wrong. Something like nuclear factor kappa beta. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, they're the 2 major inflammation markers of the body, C-reactive protein and NFKB or whatever it is, nuclear factor kappa. So if something fights that, if you see a food that fights C-reactive protein or the other inflammation marker, yeah, they can help. Beans. Meh. We're going to go straight past beans. That's something like another like vegan protein I would do. Alright, so that's it for this video, Graeme. Please, nobody go to this website. That's a terrible website. Go to consciousazine.net instead.